Hey guys, welcome back to ADHD Woodshop. I'm here today to continue on with Josh's guitar build. Previous video, I know it was a little long, but we did get the form built, the one side sanded down completely, and our piece cut so that we can get it all prepped and everything for the epoxy pour. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video, is getting everything prepped for the epoxy pour. As you can tell, not today, epoxy, not today. So to get everything going and ready and everything like that, first thing we need to do is spray a mold release inside of our form. So I have here this urethane mold release that we're going to spray in there. And get everything ready to go. Let that sit and dry a little bit. It'll be fine. But then we need to prep our piece because of that knot that's sitting on the inside there, that nice big void that's right there. And to do that, what we're going to use is this Woodshop Epoxy Penetrate by Stone Coat Epoxy. They are really great guys, and their product is amazing. I definitely can't say anything better than that. But what this will do is it'll stabilize our piece so that the epoxy that we pour afterwards in that blood red color will penetrate through and stick better to our piece. So we'll mix that up and get it ready to go. And the cool thing about this is we can actually mix it with acetone to thin it out and allow it to penetrate deeper into the wood, so it holds everything a lot stronger. The bond is better. So I have the nice big gallon of acetone that we're going to mix in there as well and get things going. Okay, so let's get this all prepped up and ready for the epoxy pour. Okay guys, I know you can't really see me here, but we're going to get everything kind of prepped and ready to go for the epoxy pour here. And let's see here. First thing to do is take our mold release and spray it all inside our form. So then that way, everything, whenever we take it apart, it doesn't stick. The Tyvek tape will help with that as well, but this just makes it a lot easier. That way we can just pop it right off and nothing will be left behind. So let's get this nice and shaken up. Those edges. Get that all inside of there. That should be good. So we'll let that sit for a little bit and dry up. But the next part is going to be taking our 2-part epoxy and our acetone and mix them all together. And then go ahead and paint it on our piece. Lay it on in there, let her sit. And what's going to be nice too is that this will help the piece bond a little bit so that it doesn't float whenever we pour our epoxy in. So let's go ahead and get our gloves on. So I completely forgot about how to read these markings on here, but was able to figure it out again. Didn't really take us too long to figure that one out. But mixing the parts 2 to 1 so that everything is nice and good. Just sitting there, mixing up there. So what this epoxy is going to allow us to do is penetrate further into the wood to stabilize it. And this will also allow for whenever we do the actual pour, to not float in the form, for one, and secondly, where we won't get any crazy bubble release from the wood itself, because this will be in those pores inside the wood. So as we continue on here, painting everything on, or painting that epoxy on there, it'll also give us kind of a look into how this thing's gonna come out later. So you saw whenever we started there, it was nice and bright white and real light colored, but as soon as we put that on there, we can see what the finish is gonna look like on this thing. So you see how much darker it got in the center there, and it's a little bit redder, a little bit browner, whatever you want to call it, and getting down inside of that big cavity, that big knot that we knocked out as well. That's going to allow that epoxy to get in there, stabilize that, so that we don't have any flakes or anything like that, or any separation off of our piece. And if you remember me taking that thing out of the frame to begin with, it was a little sticky in there. So trying to get it back in is a little rough, trying to figure out how to get it in there, pounding it down a little bit. I went and grabbed a mallet and started hammering on it a little bit there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to, you know, make it so it sits down inside that thing a little bit better. And getting the top side of it, getting down inside of those other cracks and crevices. There's a couple extra little holes in there, so we can get everything going. But making sure that we're completely covered and ready to go for our epoxy pour after this thing dries. Now usually this will take about 6 to 8 hours for this epoxy to dry, or this penetrate epoxy to dry. So you can, after that, roughly about 7 hours, you can go ahead and just straight pour right onto it. Alright, so it's been a couple days, and I wasn't able to pour quick enough, so I had to sand down our piece a little bit. I just hit it with some 120 hand sand, just rough off the edges a little bit. That way the epoxy binds and everything very nicely to our wood. So let's glove up, get ready to pour, and get everything mixed and ready to go. All right, let's get going. All right, so let's begin the mix. We're just going to send it. So we're using this Woodshop epoxy, this classic deep from Stone Coat, and let's get her poured. We can pour up to 2 inches with this. We're just going to dump it all in there because we're probably going to use most of it. So that's part B. That's the second part. Cap back on. Now part A. This is the resin itself. Well, you can see here, just pouring the resin in. We used part B first, and then part A. The reason we do that is so that we can mix it a lot easier. If you try to mix, or you do part A, then part B, then it's a lot harder to mix up. I ended up going a little fast on this part on the drill, because I wasn't paying attention, so you could see a bunch of bubbles forming. And this is the color that we're using, the Blood Red by Diamond. So we're putting in 3 scoops to make it real dark, real opaque, so that there's no light passing through it or anything like that. And we're going to slow it down here so you can watch that mix nice and easy. Just watch that color pop up. Look at how beautiful that is, that nice dark red. So we're going to slow it down here again and watch that epoxy nice and slow pour. Now I almost overflowed on the one side there, but let it smooth out there. This epoxy is auto leveling or self leveling, and we want to do probably about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of a pour at a time. So then we can pop some of those little bubbles that you saw with that torch right there. Just heat it up, it'll pop all those little bubbles. Like that little white bit that's at the bottom of your screen there. Try to pour in that void. It doesn't connect to anything, so we wanted to get over top of it and scrape whatever we could. Now I did mix up a black diamond color as well to mix it into here to kind of darken it down a little bit and give some really neat swirl patterns. So I'll just go ahead and pour some of that in there. Mix some of that up, and you can see kind of the swirl that's going to end up happening. Now there is still a lot to pour in here to cover that all the way up to the top. And we're going to let this dry for a couple days, and we'll get to flattening it back out. Well, that's the epoxy pour done, guys. Now it's just time to kind of babysit it a little bit over the next couple days, pop any bubbles that come up, make sure that the temperature is all good for it, and that she hardens pretty well. Should take about a week or so for that much epoxy to harden up and be able to be milled down and everything, and continue on with the body work. So we'll probably try to get some of the headstock and the fretboard cut and shaped and everything like that in the meantime. So stay tuned for that, and join me again next time, and hope to see you there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.